Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the Marical Wedding. I see coloring right here. As you see right here, I went and drew right here some flowers and along with some leaves. It's like, like that little plant. You say tradition. You say knowing about with most weddings it is. Most of us probably here could probably think about that. Yeah, about weddings it is. It's like knowing about that you go to them and then the thing about this like talking about is like what you say is gathering is like everybody is like from from say bride and of course the person who's marrying and stuff and but basically that this activity right here is I went ahead and colored in right here is like the details from the flower. The similar thing is what I got to say right here. It is you got the it's like the between this right here will be it's like a flower that I went ahead and had. It's like my parents' wedding is knowing about. It's like wore this. It's like on my shirt. It was at the I used it was a pin on a shirt. I'll go ahead and maybe draw it. See here, draw like a kind of example right here. It's like you kind of like of a pin, but they use pens there at the wedding. But a type of pin, I guess it would be spelt as like for P for the PIN it is. I remember my gym teacher used to it's like they give me a trivia question with what do you do? You know what to do with the PEN, but what do you do with the PIN? But other than that, it's like I remember that I he asked me at least 4 times, and the answer I kind of gave him was the fact about I don't know what type of pen you're talking about. Like maybe something that you would normally see on maybe say I Love Lucy show, or maybe the what you call it is that the what you call it's like the Three Stooges shows is like talking about is like you have right here is that with the it's like with the pen it is it's like with the pen the pen that would pretty much represent is that they knowing about keeps it whatever that you can keep it on your shirt it is. It's like that it's like between PIN and then PEN, but you have right here is like for PIN is knowing about the type of pen. Besides, other than the pin number, you see, add just a little bit of green right here. Add just a little bit of green right here. I see here that would be I see with the stem. But anyway, is that you see right here is like for the wedding. You see that the type of wedding. Say occasion. So you got the flower right here, and then of course this right here. Say what most people would probably think about at the weddings it is. It would be like you say fake flower. It is knowing about the wedding was nearly 10 years ago, and just thinking about the fact about that types of weddings that you would normally say think you see is. But no, on the other hand, dude, knowing about is like you say with the wedding rings. You got it's like with the ring right here. But most people probably think about doing the calculations about how much say a diamond ring or say turquoise or anything like that. If any of us are familiar with any type of jewelry like that, is known as like knowing about how much expensive. If we're talking about maybe something that's going to be well over so something about maybe over $500 or something like that. But on the other hand too, that knowing about it, you got right here. Go ahead and draw like another example right here, and a lot of times you say that places like jewelry stores, a lot of times that they would measure the finger as they knowing the ring size it is for man, and then of course with the woman it is. Just knowing about that you normally hear about it's like what the engagement ring is, and of course with the wedding ring it is, and knowing about the fact about that knowing about is like the circle of trust it is. But I'll just probably say go ahead and use about the 2 colors out of the selections I have. Let's just say if you have an idea for where that comes to your mind, knowing about weddings it is. For the Marical Wedding is knowing about exactly really how it's spelled. But other than that is talking about is like with the variety of colors is knowing about the fact about that whenever couples get married, do they really a lot of times think about maybe money, or the fact about it's like what the arrangements are, and then about plans, and then of course with the honeymoons, stuff like that. But on the other hand too, to knowing about with me that I was thinking about is like with my with my future wedding, it's like talking about if I were to talk about love, it is, a lot of people probably think about like an it isn't great that you but isn't it great that we can fall in love? It's like what are you gonna do when you fall in love? But other than that, is talking about is it's like with Marical Wedding, is talking about kind of like you say, it's like you say for Miracle Whip, that you have you say in these two different colors right here. And of course I'll go ahead and pick the blue and the green right here. But just think about it, it's like maybe a type of flower. A type of flower that more likely that maybe you would think that more likely would represent a type of love. It is a type of love that more likely, if as they say, is that something that you want to have. And talking about is like whenever you grew up, that you will be looking for that perfect person for you. If it's say man, say for a woman. And of course, it's like so far as my own words, of course, about what you call is for gay marriage, it is knowing about the fact that like that whatever that works out, is knowing about that it's like talking about, it's like from God saying for the God and the Creator, it is that knowing about that we were born to accept each other. It is for who we pick. It's like to be the part of our lives. It is, and just knowing about each petal would more likely represent the fact about the relationship, is knowing about that we know that more. It's like as time goes on, it's like if we were to take a photograph, it is, and just knowing about the fact that it keeps getting bigger, and more likely the story gets longer and then maybe explained at times. But on the other hand too, if you were to draw a flower, kind of like this right here, it's like you say draw like a little flower, and then from there, and then go ahead and add like what you call the stem part right here. But a lot of people probably think about it, is like if you were to still have anything from the wedding, that if you went to your say if you went to a niece's or it's a cousin's wedding or anything like that, it's like exactly about, it's like what you still have left at the wedding. It is if it's a say tuxedo, or if it's any type of gown, wedding gown, or anything like that, or maybe what you say is maybe the first kiss photo moment or anything like that, videotapes or anything, it's like that you go to a wedding, and then think about it's like the things that maybe you probably wanted to bring there, but then of course maybe you got too busy, couldn't arrange it, whatever it is, maybe karaoke. But then of course on the other hand too, that knowing about that that before or after the wedding, it is knowing about what were you doing during that time. It's like knowing about the fact about really, if we really all know what love is, it's like if we know what love is, I know what love is, and I know you can show me. But other than that, is like talking about with love, is that the way I think about it is like we grow up to live, you say, a life to where that we know is like about our responsibilities, and knowing about the concept it is, and then of course knowing about is like to enjoy life. And the fact is that some people may look at it is that you've been with the person for quite a long time, and then that if you don't feel under pressure, but on your hand too, to knowing about the fact about what love is. It's like knowing about that it's about say being together, and knowing about the fact is like if you can maybe think about is that to what you call it's like anything that you still have from that particular time from the wedding. It is knowing about maybe if I can use like an example right here, you say of showers, it is go ahead and draw is to say is some raindrop showers about right here for the sunlight and stuff that makes the flower grow. But then on the other hand too, to knowing about that that the flower more like the flower right here is like this will be like what you call a fake one, since I've had it for almost 10 years now. But then this type of art right here will be real, and then knowing about the fact about the story, the real story, and of course we say real relationship is knowing about what I thought about you at the time whenever we met. Where were we the time that we met, and decisions that we made from whenever we met and then whenever we were seeing each other. It is, and just knowing about the fact that that you say it's like people make mistakes, but on the other hand too, that knowing about that that people make choices that more likely that maybe could change the mind of somebody else, is knowing about the fact about really what does the flower usually present, if it's real or fake it is, if it represents real thought, or if it represents it's like real relationship, or maybe the real honest feeling about the fact is this is the way I feel about our relationship. Is is like I care about you, to the point where it's like knowing about I care about you. So if anything happens, to know is I will remember you as what you call us, for that special say person. It is. It's knowing about. It's like really simple, So the words kind of go on and on, but other than that, is talking about with me is like since with me, since I would be like what you call a single guy, and half the time it's like knowing about really half the time what does my story even mean? Does that even make any sense? But on the other hand too, that knowing about with my symbols is knowing about the symbols that I went ahead and drew and then colored, and of course with me is like, if you know me, it's like sign my name, is like talking about, it's like you sign my name and talking about, it's like so far it's like what you call is, you say, the wedding story. Say for the wedding miracle. It's like knowing about me is like I used to be known as like the person, say with the smallest handwriting. It's like if you want to go ahead and maybe put the year on there, and knowing about with me is like with my shirt size will be like you say as a medium, and then my waist size will be like, let's see here, I think it was a 28 the last time I checked, but anyway, but talking about is like what you call is like for the miracle wedding, is talking about the fact about if it really matters, like knowing about if you wear glasses, or and maybe if you're handicapped, whatever it is, disabled, whatever it is to know is like understand about the whole fact about is the true love, is about the fact about for who you are, that represents love.